Hello, my friends. So today it's time for episode number 2 on my cognitive biases series. And today's cognitive bias is, drum roll, confirmation bias. So if you think, I don't care about confirmation bias, you really should. So stay tuned to find out what confirmation bias is, why it exists, like what is happening in our brains that something like confirmation bias is even a thing, and what you can do to stop yourself falling prey to confirmation bias. Are you curious? Stay right where you are, coming right up. Hello. All right, guys, my name is Henrike Schmidt. I am the whole brain coach. And today we're talking about confirmation bias. So confirmation bias is a thinking error that occurs when we only look for and notice and see information and experiences that confirm certain beliefs or expectations around any or all topics. So an example might be a woman who thinks that the world of women is separated into two camps. One camp of women is just naturally beautiful and alluring and attractive to men and is approached regularly and does not have to work for love. Love just flows to her. And the other camp of women is the woman who is naturally invisible, who has to fight and force herself onto others, who has to fight to be seen, who has to fight to be noticed, who is the one who has to make the first move. Otherwise, she will not be recognized and be left standing alone in the corner. So if you're a woman who's in this camp of women who have to fight to be noticed, what has happened in your brain is, so to rewind a little bit. So from birth to death, all of us have a human experience, and a human experience comes with experiences. So the things that we live throughout our lives will automatically influence the way we see the world and the expectations we have towards situations, people, ourselves, you know the kind of thing, like the world is a dangerous place, or I am not clever enough, those sort of things. And those beliefs are based on sometimes only one incident where you felt that you're too stupid, or you felt that this is hugely dangerous. And other times it's a series of experiences and incidences that have formed this belief. So what happens neurologically in your brain is that you have an area in your brainstem called the reticular activating system, and it's RAS for short. And the RAS is a hugely helpful area in your brain. I mean, now, like when we're talking about confirmation bias, it might seem like it's malfunctioning, but in fact, it's hugely beneficial to us because it helps our brain preserve energy. Because if our brain had to notice and analyze every sensory information that our bodies are being bombarded with, it just wouldn't be able to cope. Like, we don't have the energy to do all of this. We don't have the mental capacity to notice and analyze all of this. So right now, this is the way my clothes fit on my skin, whether there's a draft in the room, the way, like my body temperature, the, hair growth, even like, I could feel my hair growing and stuff like that. So this is obviously not important information that I need to consciously be aware of. So my brain doesn't tell me about it. Thank you, brain. Thank you. So right now, for example, in my example, my RAS has been notified by me subconsciously that we're now concentrating on this video. So on the camera, on the microphone, and on what I want to say, and not on what is going on outside the window with the squirrels and the birds and the trees and whatever. Yeah. So I am focusing, I am noticing what is important, and I'm blending out, I'm fading out the stuff that is not important to me. And when it comes to confirmation bias and the example of the woman who feels unseen and not very attractive and alluring, that is what she's told her RAS is important to her, because there's another layer neurologically to this phenomenon of confirmation bias. And that is that when we're right about something, our brain's reward system is stimulated. So you go, yes, I was right. And ironically, that also happens when the belief that is being confirmed is a total bummer, like I'm ugly and unlovable. Yes, I'm right about this, because the guy just walked past me and didn't notice me. Because the opposite, on the opposite end of the spectrum, would be to be proven wrong. And to be proven wrong also stimulates an area of our brains, but it's the pain centers. So it is registered by the same areas of the brain that registers physical pain, like, cutting your finger or, breaking a toe. So of course, our brain is naturally more likely to be looking for the reward center stimulating proof than the pain center stimulating, disprovement of our theories and beliefs and expectations. So this is the layer cake, of confirmation bias. It's that you're pre-programming your brain to only see and notice certain things, and you're actually not even paying attention. You don't even see the guy who's making eyes at you because you think that you're so unlovable and it's totally impossible for anybody to notice you. So you're not even seeing that. And then the reason why you're more likely to be looking for information to prove you is because it's rewarding brain-wise. Yeah. So how can you get rid of confirmation bias? Well, first of all, it's really helpful to ask yourself why you believe a certain thing, rather than, there's a tiny fly here. So rather than just saying, what do I believe around the subject? Once you've figured that out, then say, why do I believe this? So certain beliefs and expectations might be rather subconscious or even unconscious. Yeah. But the story that I was telling about the women in the two groups, the naturally alluring and beautiful ones and the ones who have to work to be visible, this is a belief system that was volunteered by a client of mine in our very first conversation. So she wasn't even a client of mine yet. We're just having a chat. So she's very much consciously aware. She's consciously probably even thought about all the nuances of this world order that she's come up with. So she knows what she thinks. She knows what she believes. So the next question is, why? Why do I believe that? And then you probably end up finding certain memories around this belief where you go, yes. So when this happened, it happened because of the belief. And the next question is that the only logical interpretation of that situation? And chances are, if you invest a little bit of mental grease, elbow grease mentally, you will find possible alternative interpretation of said situations. So sometimes, I think I may have said this, I've re-recorded this several times, so I'm sorry if this is not in this one, but sometimes sometimes a belief originates from one single incident, one single experience that was so traumatic, so worldview altering, that it's become this huge belief and huge expectation of how people approach me and treat me and all of that. More likely is that it's, several smaller incidents that have kind of accumulated over time. And as more and more of those incidents happened, you've already had your RAS programmed in a certain way, and it then becomes this reinforcement loop, so to speak. Yeah, yes, yeah. And like every time another situation happens that seemingly proves your worldview, your belief system, it just grows and grows and grows. And the confirmation bias becomes more and more difficult to spot and to counteract. Yeah. All right. This is it for me for this week. My name is Henrike Schmidt. I am the whole brain coach, and I help my clients understand their brains and their physiology just a little bit better, so they can use this knowledge to act and react more mindfully and create better results in their lives and their relationships and their careers, so they can feel more in control and happier. All right, I'll see you again next week for episode number 3 of my Cognitive Biases series. Until then, be safe. Take care. Bye.